Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where we talk about the rest of the week in pro wrestling. Kind of. I'm not going to be covering SmackDown or Rampage this week, as on Friday I saw a couple people who I haven't seen in a bit, so that will not be covered. Instead, I'm going to stick to two shows, Ring of Honor and AEW Collision, which were very good shows. So sit back, relax, and let's do this. Starting off with Ring of Honor, starting off with Tony Khan and Stokely Hathaway pretty much saying, yeah, the New Japan stars are here. We're going to see them mix it up with the ROH guys, including a big old 6-man tag team title match where the Embassy is going to take on LIJ, which we'll get to. And, then they go off the air, come back, we got a tag team match playa as LFI, being represented by Preston Vance and Dralistico, squash a couple of local yokels, which, it's fine. Very quick, very easy win. Next up, we have Dark Order members Alex Reynolds and John Silver taking on the Righteouses, Dutch and Vincent. And honestly, this match was a lot of fun. You could actually feel the animosity of the Dark Order trying to fight off the Righteous while also kind of actively not fighting Stu Grayson, who's ringside. At one point, Vincent brings in a steel chair. Uno, who is also ringside for the Dark Order, gets in, takes the chair from Vincent. Ref turns around, sees Evil Uno with the chair, and throws him out of the match. And then the win via the roll-up is the Righteous. Post-match, Righteous, including Stu Grayson, start a beatdown on Silver and Reynolds. Evil Uno comes back out with the chair to make the save. Next up, bit of a rematch this matchup, as we have Layla Gray taking on Diamante. And what was that? I'm going to say a little bit of a downgrade from their last outing. However, end of the day, after a big old swinging DDT, your winner, Diamante. So they are 1-1 each. And I'm thinking we're going to see a third match somewhere down the line. Next up, we got Claudio Castagnoli ready for a backstage interview saying, no one in ROH is stepping up to me. That's why I haven't been on the show lately. In comes Chuck Taylor, who's saying, yeah, I'm going to step up to you. I'm going to challenge you for the Ring of Honor World title. See you out there. Then when he leaves, Claudio says to the interviewer, yeah, I'll accept his challenge, but it's not going to be for the title. It's going to be a proving ground match. Which is a fancy way of saying, number one contenders match. So, we'll see how that goes. Next up, we got a big old 8-man tag team match playa as the Lucha Brothers team up with El Hijo del Vikingo and Commander to take on Gringo Loco, the Workhorsemen, and Shane Taylor. And boy, oh boy, do these guys worked at a really frenetic pace. It was really good. Luchadors doing good lucha things, as always my thing. But then you also got Shane Taylor working really well. JD Drake working big power stuff. But, end of the day, after a Fear Factor stomp combination, your winners, the Lucha Brothers, Commander, and Vikingo. So, fun bout. We then get a kind of a backstage vignette of the upcoming Owen Hart Cup matches for Collision, including the big one with Samoa Joe versus Roderick Strong, which I am very much looking forward to. Then a bit after that, we get a Samoa Joe promo, pretty much saying, yeah, Strong, we've faced each other a number of times, but each and every time you've fallen short. And this time on Collision, it's going to be no different. That leads to Stokely Hathaway coming in, interrupting, pretty much saying, yeah, you show me some gratitude. I'm going to handle my business and watch you handle yours. Samoa Joe then calls Stokely the big boss. Stokely run things, but I run you. Which sounds like a threat, probably because it is. Next up, tag team match play as Big Bill and Lee Moriarty team up to take on a couple of local yokels. It does look like a squash match at first, but inevitably the local yokels do get some offense in. But then after a big old body slam and into a crossface, which that was impressive, your winners, Lee Moriarty and Big Bill. Next up, we got the interpromotional Ring of Honor 6-man tag team title match players as the Embassy, that's Brian Cage, Toa Liona, and Khan, taking on LIJ, that's Shingo Takagi, Bushi, and oh god, what is his name? Hiroshi Takahashi. And obviously you start off with the small guys versus the big guys. That goes about as well as you think. Then Shingo gets in on the action and he does some power stuff, but ultimately it is in vain, because after they open the gates, which is a hell of a finishing move, your winners, still Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, the Embassy. We then get a United Empire promo. That's Kyle Fletcher, Jeff Cobb, and TJP. They're backstage. And yeah, they pretty much say, Fletcher says, even though Mark Davis isn't here, I still got some backup, and we're ready to take on the world. So, you know, we're getting a United Empire match. We're going to get to that. Next up, very interesting matchup, as El Desperado, former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, takes on Willie Mack in a very fun, very well-paced matchup. At times it does look like Desperado is on the down, but then he comes back. But ultimately, after the Pitch A Loco, which is a great finisher name, your winner, El Desperado. So, hopefully El Desperado is on to some big things. I think on July 4th, he has a match with Jon Moxley. So, that's going to be interesting to watch. Next up, we got a tag team match player as Roppongi Vice. That's Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero. Take on the House of Torture. That's Sho and the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi. And what was honestly kind of a slow match, especially when Takahashi was in. Now, don't get me wrong, Roppongi Vice, hell of a tag team. They worked really well together, especially with Sho. But Takahashi, there was something off about Takahashi this go around. But ultimately, your winner, after a strong 0, Roppongi Vice. House of Torture then jumps Roppongi Vice post-match. That brings out the best friend, the international champion, Orange Cassidy, to make the save, which, okay. Next up, you got the team of the United Empire. That's Kyle Fletcher, Jeff Cobb, and TJP, taking on Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and not AR Fox, but the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. And one was a fun, frenetic, well-paced matchup where it does look like the United Empire has the advantage, especially when Jeff Cobb was in. He had a hell of a tour of the islands, but only for a 2 count. But your winner after a double flatliner. I don't even know what to call their finishing move. Your winners, Darius Martin, Action Andretti, and Christopher Daniels. We then get a little Kingdom interview where they're joined by Jerry Lynn. And they're pretty much trying to butter up Jerry Lynn, trying to get him to agree to a tag team title shot for them. And obviously that doesn't work, because then Mike Kanellis brings up, oh, wasn't I the one who retired you in the ECW arena? So that sets Jerry Lynn off. He then says, oh, I am going to set you up in a tag team match. However, it is going to be an intergender 3-on-3 match. It's going to be the Infantry and Trish Adora versus the entire Kingdom, including Maria Kanellis. Which, okay, that's going to be an interesting one. Can't wait to see how that goes. Next up, Proving Ground match for the women's division as Athena takes on Casey Spinelli in what was ultimately a one-sided affair for Athena. And then after a big old right hand, your winner, Athena. Athena then attacks Casey Spinelli post-match. So, gonna be interesting to see who steps up to Athena next. But, we got Death Before Dishonor coming up. We'll see how that goes. And our main event for Ring of Honor, it's Claudio Castagnoli versus Chuck Taylor in another Proving Ground matchup. And honestly, this matchup was wild. Chuck Taylor got a lot of offense in that I didn't think he would get, including Claudio trying for the big swing, but Chuck Taylor getting out of it, which, that was cool. Then, pretty much after a Ricola bomb, your winner, Claudio Castagnoli. So, let's see who steps up to the champ next. Hopefully it will be a worthy adversary. So that is Ring of Honor. Next up, we got AEW Collision, in which we get an Owen Hart Cup vignettes recapping the matches that are about to happen, including Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dustin Rhodes, Samoa Joe versus Roderick Strong, and there was another match in there. I do apologize if I do not forget. But we start out with MJF as he is taking on Windsor, Ontario's finest, Kip Mortar. Before the bell starts the match, MJF jumps him, stomps, and then after a heat seeker, it looks like he's going to win. Then MJF pulls him up by the hair, sticks him in the label lock for the submission victory. Post-match, MJF gets a microphone, pretty much runs down Windsor, pretty much says, alright, if there's anyone in the back from Windsor, I want him out here right now for a match. I'll even put the AEW title on the line. Initially, no one else comes out, but then some giant dude comes out. I don't even know the name of this dude. I don't think they gave him a name. But then walking out from behind him and cutting the line was All Ego Ethan Page. MJF pretty much says, Ego, I like you enough, but you're not on my level. Then Ego pretty much says, yeah, I know, but I got my inspiration from my father to not just sit with and be okay with your spot. So if you're going to put that title on the line, I'm from Windsor, let's do this. So that leads to the AEW title match, Ethan Page versus MJF, which was, honestly, it was awesome. Like, Ego got a lot of decent offense in, including trying a couple of times for the Ego's Edge, but his leg giving out. Then after that, MJF with the Heat Seeker for the victory and the title retention. Anyway, next up, we got the Owen Hart Cup match as Dustin Rhodes takes on Powerhouse Hobbs. And Hobbs is obviously joined by QT Marshall and QTV, which, okay, he doesn't really need them, but whatever. This was kind of a hoss fight, really. Like, you'll honestly forget how big Dustin Rhodes is. I'm not saying, like, big. Yo, dude is tall. Like, this was two Mack trucks going at each other, and it was great. But after some interference by QT Marshall and a big spine buster, your winner, Powerhouse Hobbs. We then get a short vignette from for the Roderick Strong Samoa Joe match coming later. Then we get Miro versus Anthony Henry. Starts out, looks like it's going to be a squash match. Anthony Henry does get some offense in, but Miro pretty much no-solds it. But then after a power slam, the axe kick, and the game over, which is the Acolyte, your winner, Miro. So I do hope we get something a bit more significant for Miro going forward, because Miro is just too good to just be squashing nobodies. No offense, Anthony Henry. We then get an in-ring interview with Bullet Club Gold, including new members, the Gun Club, Austin and Colton Gunn, which honestly at first I was against, but honestly they kind of fit really well. Like they're annoying heels, they're pretty much safeguards for the big two, Jay White and Juice Robinson, and yeah, they kind of play off each other really well. And then we get the promo, pretty much Jay White saying, yeah, this is a brand new era of Bullet Club Gold, as we got some brand new members. And tonight, Juice is going to beat Ricky Starks in the Open Heart Cup. That was the other match. But then, and then Jay White and Juice Robinson called their shot for the AEW Tag Team titles. That brings CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks on the screen, where they pretty much say, where FTR pretty much accepts the tag team title shot match, which will go down next week. And then Punk kind of still teases that what he has in his bag is his AEW World title, which, yeah, we'll see if that's the case. So for now, he's going to leave it in the bag. And Ricky Starks reveals that tonight, no one in Bullet Club Gold is going to be at ringside. It's going to be one-on-one. So we then get into that match. We get Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks, which starts out really, really well. They work extremely well together. They hit each other with spears, which is crazy. Starks looks for the Rochambeau, but Juice gets out of it. Eventually, we do get the spear. We get the Rochambeau countered, But then Ricky Starks hits him with the roll-up for the surprise victory. We then get the rest of the Bullet Club Gold coming out, surrounding the ring. So it looks like Ricky Starks is trapped. Out comes CM that's CM Punk and FTR, to chase them out of the ring. We then get a Christian Cage interview, in which the interviewer asks, look, why are you walking out around with the title when the champion is clearly Luchasaurus? Christian is about to answer. In walks Shawn Spears as anybody. He pretty much says, yeah, I know I've been back here a lot, and now I'm calling my shot. However, I want to talk to the champ, points at Luchasaurus. Christian Cage gets in the way. He then says, yeah, talk to the champ. I am here to seize my opportunity, and I'll see you next time, champ. So, at some point we're going to get a TNT title match. Spears versus maybe Christian Cage? Because he definitely fancies himself as the champion, but Luchasaurus is actually the champion. I'm not sure it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Next up, we got the TBS title on the line as Chris Statlander defends against Lady Frost, who, glad to see Lady Frost again on my TV screen. She is vastly underrated. And these two women tore the house down. A lot of good action between one another. But then, after a Saturday Night Fever, your winner, Chris Statlander. Still the champion, baby. We then get an Andrade promo. He's backstage. He's looking for his mask, which the House of Black took. He's asking, where are you? Where are you? Give me my mask back. We then get the House of Black on a TV screen right behind him, pretty much saying, yeah, let the House help you with your past, but not yet. And that sets Andrade off. So, looks like this House of Black Andrade feud is going to go on for a little bit. It is then announced that we are getting on Dynamite Wheeler Yuta versus Kenny Omega one-on-one. That should be a fun one. Then, for our main event, we have CM Punk on commentary, as we got the last first-round matchup for the Owen Hart Cup on the men's side, Samoa Joe versus Roderick Strong. And honestly, this was almost a perfect matchup. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at one another. Plenty of near falls. A counter to the Muscle Buster, which was impressive. But ultimately, Roderick Strong was going for a knee strike off the top rope. He is caught in the Coquina Clutch by Samoa Joe. And your winner via not submission, because he didn't tap out. Roderick Strong passed out. So your winner, moving on to the next round to face CM Punk, Samoa Joe. Joe then goes out of the ring, grabs a steel chair. Officials are coming out. They're trying to protect Roderick Strong, who looks like he suffered an injury. Hope he's okay. And then CM Punk gets up from commentary. They're kind of not face to face, but close enough to where you can hear each other jawing. Joe then drops the chair, gets back in the ring, and just beats the heck out of Roderick Strong. And then Punk gets in the ring, chases Joe off. And then while you see Samoa Joe walking out the ramp, running down the ramp is Adam Cole, baby. And he's there to check on Roddy, who gets loaded onto a stretcher, which hopefully, I hope this is a story, but if it's real, feel better soon, Roddy. I know you just got here, but injuries are tough. So, yeah, that does it for the rest of the week in pro wrestling. Sorry I didn't catch you up on SmackDown or Rampage, but like I said, I was seeing a couple people I haven't seen in a while. So coming up this week, either tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm going to try for tomorrow. I'm going to give my review for Money in the Bank. And then we're kind of off for a little while. Next show isn't until, I think it's like end of July 15th. There are actually 2 shows. That's Slammiversary for Impact Wrestling, which is shaping up, and AAA Triple Mania Part 2, which should be a fun one. So, hopefully you guys stay tuned for those. Please like the video, leave some comments. What do you think about this week in pro wrestling? Let me know what you thought of Money in the Bank here, too, actually. And overall, I hope everyone has a good day. Happy 4th of July. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace. Whoop.